Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans across the globe, tonight we dive into one of the most electrifying, most intriguing, and most emotionally charged rivalries of our time, Roman Reigns versus Finn Bálor. This isn't just about a match. It isn't just about two athletes competing in the squared circle. This is about pride, legacy, resilience, and the undying spirit of competition. This is about two men from two very different paths colliding in the ultimate test of willpower and destiny. Imagine the lights dimming in the arena, thousands of fans on their feet, the heartbeat of anticipation echoing louder than any theme song. On one side, you have Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the man who has dominated WWE with an iron fist, rewriting the book on what it means to be a champion. On the other side, you have Finn Bálor, the prince, the man who carved his name in Japan, who carried NXT on his shoulders, who brought the extraordinary style of agility, precision, and grit to a global stage. Their collision is not just about gold and titles, it's about proving to the world whose story truly deserves to be remembered. Roman Reigns has been the face of dominance. Since aligning with Paul Heyman, since embracing the persona of the tribal chief, he has reinvented himself from the powerhouse of the Shield into the centerpiece of an empire. He doesn't just fight for himself, he fights to uphold his family's honor, the Anoa'i bloodline, a dynasty that has produced legends from Yokozuna to The Rock. To Roman, standing atop WWE isn't optional. It's destiny. It's obligation. It's the burden of a king who refuses to relinquish his throne. Every victory, every spear, every moment where he raises that championship above his head is his way of saying, "This is my island and you're just visiting." But then comes Finn Bálor. A man who doesn't need size to inspire fear, who doesn't need to be the biggest to be the strongest. Finn is the embodiment of perseverance. Born in Bray, Ireland, he clawed his way through the toughest independent circuits, through the brutal world of New Japan Pro Wrestling, becoming the very first leader of Bullet Club, a faction that shook the wrestling industry forever. When he arrived in WWE, he became the inaugural Universal Champion. Think about that. Finn Bálor was chosen to usher in a new era, to be the face of a championship that symbolized the future. And yet, cruel fate struck him down as injury ripped the title from his grasp after just one night. That heartbreak, that bitter injustice still burns in his soul. So when he steps up to Roman Reigns, it isn't just about a match, it's about redemption. It's about reclaiming what fate once stole.
Roman fights with the weight of legacy. Finn fights with the fire of unfinished business. That's why this rivalry matters so deeply. Every move they make is layered with history, with meaning, with hunger. Picture Roman Reigns walking down the ramp, calm but commanding, the boos and cheers blending into one thunderous storm. His presence alone feels like a declaration of war. He doesn't have to shout. His eyes, his posture, his confidence do the talking. He is the tribal chief, and he carries himself like a man who believes the ring is his kingdom. Then the music hits for Finn Bálor, and the crowd erupts. He moves with intensity, his body lean and battle-ready. And if it's the demon who emerges, then the atmosphere transforms into something almost mythical. The body paint, the crawling entrance, the primal energy. When Finn brings out the demon, he's not just Finn Bálor anymore. He's a force of nature, an untamed spirit, an alter ego that thrives on chaos and destruction. When these two meet in the ring, it isn't just about technical moves, it's about philosophy. Roman uses power, control, and ruthless precision. He dictates the pace, slowing matches to his rhythm, suffocating his opponents with dominance. Finn counters with speed, with unpredictability, with a style that fuses his Japanese heritage of strong style with the high-flying agility of European wrestling. Every kick, every Slingblade, every coup de grace is a strike meant not only to win, but to shock the giant standing before him. And let's talk about the psychology. Roman is the master of mind games. He looks into the eyes of his opponents and breaks them before the bell even rings. He talks about family, about respect, about who has the right to sit at the head of the table. His words aren't random, they're daggers, designed to pierce the pride of his challengers. Finn, though, is not so easily shaken. He's been the underdog before. He's fought giants. He's faced betrayal. He's been counted out time and time again. And every time, he's risen. That resilience is what makes him dangerous. You can knock Finn down, but he doesn't stay down. He gets back up, sharper, faster, hungrier. When Roman locks in the guillotine choke, it feels like a mountain collapsing on its prey. When Finn climbs the ropes for the coup de grace, it feels like destiny hanging in midair, ready to crash down with unstoppable force. This is the essence of their battle. Strength versus speed, dynasty versus redemption, dominance versus defiance. But let's go deeper. Why does this rivalry resonate so strongly with fans? It's because we see ourselves in it. Roman Reigns represents the system, the figure who seems untouchable, who has everything aligned in his favor. He has power, influence, and legacy on his side. Finn Bálor represents the dreamer, the fighter who was told he was too small, too different, too unlikely. Yet he fights anyway. Their clash becomes symbolic of life itself, the battle between those born into advantage and those who must claw their way to greatness. There are echoes of mythology here. Roman, the king of the island, defending his throne from the challenger who dares defy him. Finn, the warrior from the shadows, channeling his inner demon to bring down the seemingly invincible. It's David versus Goliath, but with layers of modern storytelling and wrestling artistry. Even the fans are split. Some cheer Roman's dominance, admiring the charisma and authority he brings. Others rally behind Finn, chanting his name, willing him to topple the empire. And that's the beauty of it. You don't just watch the match, you feel it. You become part of the story. Your emotions tied to every near fall, every kickout, every gasp when it looks like the end has come only for the other man to rise again. Roman Reigns versus Finn Bálor isn't just about athleticism, it's about emotion. When Finn looks at Roman, you see determination in his eyes, a man who refuses to accept defeat as destiny. When Roman looks at Finn, you see the arrogance of a champion who cannot imagine a world in which he isn't at the top. That emotional clash creates magic in the ring. And beyond the ring, their rivalry speaks volumes. It tells us that no matter how powerful someone may seem, there is always someone willing to step up, to challenge, to fight for what they believe in. It tells us that redemption is always possible, that setbacks are not endings but stepping stones. Finn's journey from being robbed of the Universal Championship to standing once again on the grand stage inspires anyone who has ever lost something precious and dared to fight back. Roman's journey, from being rejected by fans as the chosen one to reinventing himself as the tribal chief, teaches us that transformation is possible, that even kings must evolve or risk being forgotten. There is a quote that fits perfectly here. Hard times don't create heroes. It is during the hard times that the hero within us is revealed. For Roman, the hard time was rejection, and he emerged stronger. For Finn, the hard time was injury, and he emerged hungrier. That's why when they clash, it feels larger than life. It feels like a story written in fire and blood. And what about the outcomes? In some battles, Roman Reigns crushes Finn Bálor, asserting his dominance. In others, Finn comes within inches, reminding us that the giant is not invincible. And when the demon is involved, the line between reality and legend blurs. Fans remember when the rope mysteriously broke, costing Finn the match against Roman. That moment was controversial, unforgettable, and added yet another layer of intrigue. Was it fate? Was it sabotage? Or was it simply the cruel hand of destiny once again turning against Finn's ambitions? Moments like that are why this rivalry continues to live on, why fans continue to demand more. But no matter who stands tall at the end of the match, both men walk away with respect, because respect is not about bowing down,
It's about acknowledging the warrior across from you. Roman respects Finn's fight, even if he doesn't admit it. Finn respects Roman's strength, even if he refuses to submit. That mutual recognition is what makes their story eternal. So what can we learn from this? We can learn that power is not absolute, that even the strongest must constantly defend their place. We can learn that no setback is final, that even when life rips away your dreams, you can claw your way back. We can learn that legends are not just born, they are forged in fire, in pain, in relentless pursuit of greatness. For anyone watching, whether you're a die-hard wrestling fan or just someone who loves stories of triumph and struggle, Roman Reigns versus Finn Bálor is a lesson. It's a reminder that life will put giants in your way, but you must never stop fighting. It's a reminder that even when the odds seem impossible, courage can close the gap. It's a reminder that every throne can be challenged, and every king must answer to the people who dare to rise against him. So as the lights shine down, as the crowd roars, as two men lock eyes in the center of the ring, remember this. What you're seeing is not just a wrestling match, it's a metaphor for life itself. Roman Reigns versus Finn Bálor is strength versus speed, dominance versus resilience, empire versus rebellion. It is the eternal clash between those who sit at the head of the table and those who dare to flip it over. In the end, the question remains, who truly deserves to be called the champion? Is it the tribal chief who rules with dominance and commands respect? Or is it the prince, the demon, the man who refuses to stay down, who fights with the spirit of 1,000 warriors? That's for the ring to decide, for history to record, and for fans to debate for years to come. But here's the truth. Both men are already champions, not just because of belts or accolades, but because of the way they inspire, the way they push each other, the way they remind us all that greatness is earned, not given. So, to every fan watching, to every dreamer fighting your own battles, take this story to heart. Be like Finn Bálor, never stop chasing redemption. Be like Roman Reigns, embrace your destiny and don't be afraid to transform when the world demands it. Stand tall, fight harder, and never back down. Because in the end, your life is your championship match, and the world is your arena. This is Roman Reigns versus Finn Bálor. This is dominance versus defiance. This is the battle of kings and demons. And this is why we watch, why we cheer, why we believe.